often overlook the science behind the food we consume. Yet within simple ingredients, complex biological processes are constantly at work. One of these processes is fermentation, a natural transformation driven by microorganisms. In this presentation, we explore how an ordinary vegetable becomes a scientifically enriched product. Welcome to Brassica fermenta. This is Brassica oleracea, commonly known as cabbage. It is fresh, nutritious, and widely consumed, but it is also highly perishable. If left untreated, this cabbage will spoil due to the growth of microorganisms.
However, not all microorganisms are harmful. Some can actually be helpful to preserve food.
Our product is called Brassica fermenta, a name that reflects both its biological origin and transformation process. The term brassica is derived from Brassica oleracea, the scientific name of cabbage, our primary ingredient. Meanwhile, fermenta comes from the Latin term meaning to ferment, emphasizing the biochemical process involved. The product you are seeing is currently in its fermentation stage, and its condition will serve as the basis of our discussion. The materials used include cabbage, scientifically known as Brassica oleracea, and salt, or sodium chloride. Moreover, we also used a clean container, knife and chopping board, and saran wrap.
The main microorganism involved is Lactobacillus plantarum, which naturally exists on the cabbage leaf.
That is crucial in initiating the fermentation process. Now let's move on to the procedure. First, the outer leaves are removed because they may contain more impurities. Then, the cabbage is cut into halves and prepared for shredding. The cabbage is shredded into thin strips to increase surface area.
Before adding salt, it is important to understand why salt plays a crucial role in the fermentation process. Salt helps draw out water from the cabbage through the process of osmosis, forming a natural liquid called brine. This brine creates an environment where beneficial bacteria such as Lactobacillus plantarum can grow and function effectively. At the same time, salt inhibits the growth of harmful microorganisms that may cause spoilage. Because of these effects, salt ensures that fermentation proceeds safely and successfully. Now, we add the appropriate amount of salt to the shredded cabbage. As the salt is mixed in, it begins to draw out water and form the brine needed for fermentation. The cabbage is then massaged to release more liquid and evenly distribute the salt.
Once enough liquid is produced, the cabbage must be stored properly.
Packing the cabbage tightly, it removes air and creates an aerobic environment.
This is important because Lactobacillus plantarum performs anaerobic respiration.
To cover the cabbage, we will be using saran wrap.
Finally, the mixture is left at room temperature to undergo fermentation over several days. The lactic acid increases the acidity of the environment, preventing harmful bacteria
Lactic acid
from
fermentation
growing.
is a type of anaerobic respiration, which means it occurs in the absence of oxygen.
In this process, microorganisms break down glucose found in food and convert into lactic acid.
At the same time, a small amount of energy called ATP is produced, allowing the microorganisms to survive.
The lactic acid increases the acidity of the environment, preventing harmful bacteria from growing.
Because of this, fermentation both produces energy and preserves food.
As a result of fermentation, Brassica fermenta develops distinct physical characteristics, which includes Brassica fermenta has a pale to slightly translucent color, which indicates that the cabbage has undergone structural changes during fermentation. Its texture is tender yet slightly crisp, similar to high-quality sauerkraut. The cabbage is also surrounded by a cloudy brine, which is a normal result of microbial activity. It produces a distinct sour aroma and tangy taste, both of which become stronger as fermentation continues. These changes are caused by lactic acid fermentation, a process where beneficial bacteria convert natural sugars into lactic acid. Brassica fermenta can be used for personal consumption, such as a side dish, condiment, or ingredient in meals such as rice, sandwiches, or meat dishes. Additionally, it contains beneficial microorganisms known as probiotics. These contribute to improved digestion and overall gut health. In the community, it promotes food preservation, helps reduce waste, and provides a low-cost, nutritious food option that is easy to prepare. Fermentation is one of the oldest food processing techniques used by humans. Historically, it has been essential for preserving food before the development of refrigeration. Furthermore, fermentation increases the bioavailability of nutrients, allowing the body to absorb vitamins more efficiently. This highlights the significance of fermentation not only in food science but also in human health. Now it's trivia time! Trivia number 1. Did you know that fermented cabbage like sauerkraut was used by sailors in the past to prevent scurvy because it is rich in vitamin C? Trivia number 2. The sour taste of fermented foods comes from lactic acid produced by bacteria, not from adding any vinegar. Trivia number 3. Your body actually benefits from fermented foods because they contain good bacteria that help digestion. Trivia number 4. Fermentation can preserve food for weeks or even months without refrigeration. Trivia number 5. Even though bacteria are involved, not all bacteria are harmful. Some are essential for making food like yogurt and fermented cabbage.
In conclusion, the process of creating Brassica fermenta demonstrates the principle of lactic acid fermentation.
Through anaerobic respiration, Lactobacillus plantarum breaks down glucose found in cabbage and produces lactic acid along with a small amount of energy in the form of ATP.
The production of lactic acid lowers the pH of environment, preventing the growth of harmful microorganisms and preserving the cabbage.
This shows that fermentation is not only a biological process of energy production but also an effective method of food preservation.
Brassica fermenta highlights the importance of fermentation in everyday life, from improving food safety to supporting digestive health through beneficial bacteria.
What once was a simple cabbage has now been transformed through science.
From preparation
To control fermentation,
To a safe and preserved product.
This is Brassica Fermenta, where science transforms food through fermentation.